just came forward. He really punished Hawkins. In fact, dropped him here in the 6th round of this fight.
Guess we should put my earphones on.
The doctors were concerned.
Well, let's talk. I did cover this. Well, I did watch both of these fights last night. I watched this Sabril Matias versus Malik Hawkins, and I did put a video out on Xavier Martinez versus Claudio Marrero. So about a half an hour ago, I finally finished I'm having some technical difficulty, but we're going to have all this shit fixed and sorted out in the next, I'm going to say 48 hours, because we got a big week coming up. Right now it is 9:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's why I don't have the clock and everything on the screen, because it's been lagging out my videos. 9:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday, October the 25th, 2020. I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. And with the big fights coming up this weekend, this wasn't a good fight to lead into, a pay-per-view with Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. Now, the fight I'm talking about is a fight that ended in a draw with a belt that, in my personal opinion, shouldn't exist. When
unanimous decision remains unbeaten. The main event, 12 rounds, IBF welterweight interim title on the line. Sergey Lipinets, Custio Clayton, and this had really good action. It was Clayton up top, the jab, the counter right hand, but then it was Lipinets doing a lot of good body work to Clayton. Back and forth this fight went. A really close fight, and in the end, the judges give it a majority draw.
Now, normally I would have post-fight interviews, but my DVR is on the fritz. It's all fucked up around here. But let's talk about the fight and what it means. Now, this was supposed to be for the IBF interim title, a belt that I feel shouldn't exist, for the winner to face off against Errol Spence, Danny Garcia winner. Now, the good news for Errol Spence, Danny Garcia winner is this fight likely has to happen again, right? Because there's no mandatory yet. Now, how does this guy, and they spelled his name wrong here, I saw him fight in Philly. It was me, Steve Kim, and we was talking about this guy, and me personally, I'm not high on him. But looking at the performance versus Lipinets, I'm not high on him either. So that's why I was really, really interested in the fight. I really wanted to see Sergey Lipinets versus Kudratilo Akdukahorov. There you go. So I was like, I'm not really high on him. Maybe this is going to be some more fight of the year type shit. Now, Custio Clayton surprised me. This is only my second time seeing him. What card was that? I don't remember. Did he fight on a David Lemieux card? I've seen him fight somewhere before, but where? Was it Hector Munoz? So Hector Munoz is a very well-known sparring partner for a lot of fighters. And before I was on him, that's where, before I left Instagram, cool dude. I consider him a friend. So I think that's what I seen, right? When was there? Had to be that. Like some clips. It had to be that, even though Munoz got stopped, but still, he's a very respected sparring guy. So I was like, all right, well, don't be surprised if this dude gets an upset. And on a lot of people's cards, from what I've seen, scrolling through Twitter this morning and looking at the fan, because they did like a fan poll for Showtime, a lot had Clayton winning. The jab, more cleaner, effective punching. I guess that's the cliche term. Cleaner, effective punching. Sergey Lipinets, I remember first seeing him at 140, he's kind of a small 140. But now seeing him at 147, I was like, he was a small 147, but he seems to have filled out more at that weight. But either way, let's be honest with you. None of these guys beat Errol Spence. And frankly, I don't think none of these guys are going to get to fight Errol Spence. Errol Spence is likely going to fight Danny Garcia if he wins. And I have, I'm wondering how Errol Spence is going to look and how he's going to fight after the car accident. Rumor has it, and I think it's been confirmed, is that, his jaw was broken and, he had to get new teeth, all that type of shit. So how will he, he's going up against a very tough fighter after, an accident, big balls on Errol Spence. And Danny Garcia, a lot of people sleep on him. Danny Garcia, he's a very well-respected power puncher. People don't sit in front of that shit. They don't want to get hit with that no-look left hook. Now, going to this IBF interim, I'm an Errol Spence guy, man. It was deeply distressing and upsetting, when that whole news of the accident came about. He was drinking and driving, though. I understand an interim belt for an injury. But in that case, it's like you gave an interim, like, why are you giving him, like, if anything, y'all should have stripped him. It's a slippery slope. I just don't think that they should have gave him an interim for that. Like, it don't seem right. But the fighters are not bitching, meaning, Sergey Lipinets was under the same ban. It just don't seem right. I can see if it was a car accident and just a regular car accident, he wasn't drinking or whatever. But it's like, yo, you were drinking and driving, bro. Like, I've had an issue with that. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it in my videos, especially since I got to talk about it during my Errol Spence Danny Garcia build up. Because it's like, yo, like, and I like Errol. I'm an Errol Spence guy. Like, I don't say I'm a boxer's fan, because I do get media credentials, and even if I'm low on the totem pole of boxing media, still, nonetheless, I'm still considered boxing media. So we're not supposed to be fans. You see what I'm saying? Like, that shit is weird to me. That shit's always been gay to me. Like, it's like, yo, like, you got these motherfucking YouTubers, boxing YouTubers who get media credentials and just go to these fights, be sucking these fighters' dicks. Then get home and suck their balls too. But here's how I see things working. I think, Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford was in the work. Bob Arum went on the record multiple times to say that him and Al Heyman talked about it, and it was like figuring out how they was going to do it and making sure like they didn't wait too long. Like they've done, well, not Al Heyman, but they've talked, and they were talking about it more during Wilder Fury, because that fight was contingent on, that fight had a lot of implications on if they can do other cross promotional events that were big, like that. Wilder Fury 2, what would he say? It was Spence Crawford, because it is going to be Spence Crawford, not Crawford Spence. And what else? Tank Loma. This was before COVID and all that. So I really think that fight can happen, but it's hard to see Errol Spence not moving to 154. But then Charlo, here's what I see. I see Jamel moving to 168. Jamal, after becoming undisputed, if he wins, moving to 160, and then Errol Spence moving to 154. That's how I see it happening with them three. And if you don't know, Jamel and Spence are trained by Derek James, same trainer. So in regard, I mean, Spence would, like, if Spence beats Danny Garcia, they would fight. I guess they would or could, like stay there and fight, and defend their title, get that mandatory out the way on like a free TV Fox or regular Showtime type deal. They can't do that on pay-per-view. I don't give a fuck what they say. Yo, they better not, yo. And that's why I think it's hard to see Spence fighting a Lipinets or a Clayton. And then you have to think that the WBC's mandatory is going to be after that. Pacquiao, we don't know what the fuck he's doing right now. He's a super champion. And don't you think the WBA is not going to strip him ever? You hear me? Because whenever, like, the money that he brings when he comes back, like, they not motherfucking doing that shit. So his belt is hard to count, and Yordenis Ugas belt can't really be unified. It's not supposed to be, even though the WBA will try to bend. Man, boxing makes me sick with all these belts. Terrence Crawford's fighting Kell Brook. I'm kind of like, yo, Terrence Crawford don't want to catch no clean shot from Kell Brook. And test his chin like he tried to sometimes. I'm going to be covering that fight. I'm interested in that fight. I'm not going to lie. So, of course, for Danny Garcia, Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia, we're going to really build that shit up. And it's hard for me, man, because obviously Philly, Danny Garcia, me and Angel Garcia got a nice little relationship, but then, like I said, I'm an Errol Spence guy. And Errol Spence got the story. Like, I want to see what his fighting style going to look like. Obviously got to be smart. Don't try to, like, test your chin and try to take no shit from, that you don't have to from Danny Garcia. This box, it's already a great story. He coming back, it's already a great story. Like, did you see the Ferrari? And his fucking Nike was in the road? The photos we're going to delve deep into that, though. We're going to delve deep into that. So in the meantime, what's going to happen with this fight, and how does Duke Kahorov factor into all this, right? How does he, like, what's going to happen? Maybe they should have a triple threat match. Triple threat, maybe? Who knows? I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. Please subscribe. Triple threat tag.